if you keep thinking about what you lost, if you have anxiety of her fucking somebody else, what is that gonna do to you, man? Emotionally and mentally, that's gonna crush you. So, choose which guy you are. And right now, you are in the weak position. She doesn't want it, you want it. Just that simple dynamic makes it hard for her to come to you. If you don't do this, you're gonna make things worse. Because woman doesn't want to be with a guy who is below her. So the first thing you need to work on, I'm just giving you the framework, is to accept the setup. Because if you don't accept the setup, if you want to push and keep telling her that, hey, listen, I don't want this new setup, I want to still be with you, give me another chance, we got to work this through, you create resistance. The sooner you accept that old relationship is over, the faster you can turn things around and get her back. Nobody wins a negotiation from a position of weakness. That's just the beginning of the game, that you accept, okay, hey, you know what, okay, cool, I understand, it's over. So you need to work on leveling with her emotionally, so you're both in the same beginning point of the game. That's the first thing, and that's a mistake a lot of guys make. They keep pushing. She says no, and he says, I know I took it for granted, let me fix this, you gotta give me another chance. Dude, that is like banging your head against the wall. She doesn't trust this version of you. You did something that now she doesn't trust you. It could be anything. It could be took her for granted, maybe ignore her, maybe you cheated, maybe she cheated, maybe you didn't set boundaries. At this point, she doesn't trust you. Without trust, you can't do anything. Let's say you have a kid and there's some random dude in the streets and you don't even know this guy. Would you let this guy babysit your 3-year-old daughter? Of course not. You don't know anything about this guy. Now you're in the same situation. She doesn't trust you right now. And if you want her to be a romantic partner without trust, and of course attraction and a couple of other things, it's not gonna happen. You really have to understand why you guys broke up. Most guys have no clue why they broke up, and then they try to push her in the wrong direction. For example, if you took her for granted, or if you're let's put it this way, this is better. If you're a guy who doesn't have boundaries, for example, you're afraid of friction, and she knows she can control you by friction. Let me give you an example. If you're in this situation, she would not want to be with you. Women run from guys like this. Now, this could happen at the beginning of the relationship. This could happen after 2 years that she's really sick and tired of it. She tells you, I want to move to this area, this part of town. And you look at the stats and say, well, I don't want us to move because this is closer to my work. This is closer to kids' school. Now, what she does, she tries to test and see if she can control you. How does she do this? This has happened in your relationship as well. She gives you some attitude. She creates some friction. And if you're a kind of guy that is afraid of friction, you back off and say, you know what, okay, baby, let's move. This is the death of that relationship. That happens to most guys. They don't realize this is how you need to set your boundaries and say, baby, this is where we live. I want you to be happy. I want kids to be happy. We're going to stay here. She's going to play a little bullshit. She's going to give you some friction, and then she's going to be happier with you that you made the call. But if you let her make this decision, and if you avoid the friction, and a lot of guys are afraid of this, by the way, then that is how relationships end. This is a huge one, dude. You have to be able to handle friction, and while you consider what she wants, you have to make the final call. If you don't, it means you're putting her in your masculine, and that's not what we want. A lot of times when I work with guys, I see this is the underneath reason that they got divorced or they broke up. A lot of guys, when I talk to them, I see they're just heavy. They bring heaviness to relationship. They conversation and communication with her is all about heavy things. Oh, baby, please let us work this thing through. I know our life was tough. I know. Man, she doesn't want your heaviness. She has enough problems in her life. Your job is to create a fun, cool, safe, happy place. Now, if you look at communication with her in past few weeks, past few months, it's all problems, it's all anxiety. People have enough problems in their life. Go to the day one that you guys met. The purpose of relationship and dating and all of these things, both for you and her, is to just have a good time, have good company, have fun, have an easier life together, because everything else is so difficult. But what happens to relationships? Guys, without realizing, turn the relationship into this heavy thing in her life that she doesn't even want. And she looks around, she just probably looks at Instagram and looks at all of the other good things that other people have. And she doesn't see the reality of other relationship, and she looks at the heaviness that you bring to her life and she says, why do I want this? So remember, every time you want to communicate, it has to be light. If you didn't have those heaviness, if you didn't have those fights, you wouldn't be in this position. So do not bring heaviness into her life, and not just her, anybody else. Read David Shaw's book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Never broadcast bad news. But you know, when you want to get your ex back, you are in this position of lack, and everything you do is heavy. It's really important. And these things that I'm telling you are going to change your situation. You have to escalate. You have to escalate. When the situation gets a little better and you start communicating with her, then you have to escalate. That could take a few months when you start to escalate. But first, like I said at the beginning of this video, when you have trust, then you can start working on attraction. But without trust, you can't. And there are some cases that the guy starts to do everything right, then he friend zones himself because he doesn't escalate. At one point, you have to make it man to woman. So let's say right now the situation is really bad. Everything is falling apart. First, you need to work your own emotions so you can handle what's coming your way, so you can manage the attacks. Once you're in control, which I teach you in the first week of the program, Taking Inner Control. If you haven't watched my program, watch my program. The link is in the description. So first you need to control these emotions so you can manage the communication. Then you work on trust. Once there's trust, then you escalate. And all of this has to happen systematically and slowly with calibration. None of this is random. For example, if you're totally messed up and you're tired and she has been ignoring you, and if she message you right now, you jump, you're happy, holy shit, she messaged me. And if she doesn't message you for 2 days, you wonder where is she, what is she doing, or if she's cold and distant at home. And all of this is affecting you in a way that you cannot just be in your elements. If you're sad most of the time, if you're down, if you have anxiety, it's not time for you to communicate with her. It's not time for you to work on trust. Because for you to build trust, she's gonna test you. And when she tests you, she will attack you in a way. If you're not ready for that, go work on your inner game. Watch week 1 of the program. Once you're solid, once you got it, then you send her a text message that I give you. Then you can pass the test. And once you have trust, now you're friend zone. After this, you escalate and you make it man to woman. Which there are going to be a few different types of tests at that point as well. If you lose yourself, the relationship will be the last thing that you worry about. So never ever lose yourself. Now, what does it mean, lose yourself? Lose yourself means you start to be taken over by anxiety, by fear, by drama, by sleepless nights. All of these things that this breakup is bringing for you, or the bad event is bringing for you. Never lose yourself. And how can you do it? Let's say some bad events happen and you lose yourself. You go crazy, you stop eating, you stop going to work, you let anxiety comes, life gets bitter. If you lose yourself, it'll just get worse. When things go south, put your effort and energy into keeping yourself grounded and not getting affected by what happens. And remember, my protocol number 1, nothing is a big deal. Dude, if you want to win, if you want to get her back, if you want to be happy, you have to adopt to this setup. You have to understand that in life, in relationship, things are going to happen that are not the way you want them to be. And if you fight them, if you resist them, if you go head to head, you just create more resistance and make it more difficult. Nothing's a big deal, dude. It's one of the main protocols in my book, The Protocols. Nothing's a big deal. You hit her dog with a car and the dog died, nothing's a big deal. Her parents died, nothing's a big deal. Dude, parents die, nothing's a big deal. Breakup happened. It happens. Billions of people living here before you, they had relationships, they had life, they lived in the house that you're living right now, and they all died. And it's gone. Same with you, man. In a few years, you're not going to be here. Nothing matters. All these things that you're working so hard for, somebody else is going to own them. Your phone, your computer, your car, all is going to be gone. Somebody else is going to be living in your house. Nothing's a big deal, man. This is just an experience you're having. Stop taking it so seriously. I have been where you are. Painful years of my life. I just didn't know I was taking everything so seriously. Then later when I realized, you know what happened? You know how breakups affect me now? Cool. If I knew this, if you understand this, if I knew this back then, man, my life would have been so much easier. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. You did your best. From now here, you want to get it back, you need to do everything systematically, properly. Read my book so you do everything right. Let me help you with texting so you do the right thing and so you don't make mistakes from here forward. But nothing is a big deal. And look, in every situation, you get to pick. You're either the winner guy or the loser guy. Both go through the hardship. Which one do you want to be? You can be the dude with loser mentality. And oh man, I fucked up. I lost her. Now she's gone. Or you can be the guy with winner mentality. And look, I played a hand. Let me see what I can do from here to make it better. Pick who you are every morning. Every day that you wake up, It doesn't matter if you have pain or not. You pick who you are, what approach you take, and what you do from here forward. And if you're unaware of this, you by default will take the loser mentality. Pick the right guy, man. Pick the right guy because we need you right now. We need you to do the right thing to get her back. For you to get her back, you need to be the right guy. If you keep thinking about what you lost, if you're thinking about all the good things about that relationship that you lost, if you have anxiety of her fucking somebody else, what is that going to do to you, man? Emotionally and mentally, that's going to crush you. So, choose which guy you are. And whatever you feel, she's going to feel as well, man. You cannot hide this from her. You cannot hide. If you feel like shit, if you're depressed, if you have anxiety, you cannot hide it from her. That's what I say. You need to work on the inner game material that I give you in the program. Work your inner game, work your mindset, work the protocols. Nothing is a big deal. Things change always. Because if you think like those thoughts, then you calm down. When you calm down, then she sees you're calm. Then you can text better. Then she can communicate with you better. Then her test will not affect you. You'll be immune to that. You can diffuse any attack that come your way. And then she sees that this guy is chill, this guy is cool. But if you're opposite, if you have anxiety, if you take everything so seriously, you have your best game at this point. Learn to go in your element. Learn to be focused. Recognize the emotions, the sadness, the nostalgia missing here, how your mind, future, pace, thoughts without her. Manage those. Write them down so you can manage them. You can perform much better than you are in this situation if you're prepared. You want to text her, you want to see her, you're going to talk to her. Maybe she shows up with another guy. If you do this, you're going to do everything so much better. Then you can build a trust and attraction. Find the things that are bothering you, the emotions that are bothering you, write them down, go through week 1 of the program and manage them one by one. So when you have to perform, when you have to implement this, when you have to communicate, sure that you have actually changed. If you haven't read my book, make sure you read it. The link is in the description. This is Ben. See you in the next video. And don't worry, I'm going to help you get her back.